All right, hello intermediate band. This is How to Build a Minor Scales or some such title. This is the second time I've tried to do this, actually really the third time. The first time I tried to do this lesson was way back in March when we first went to not having band because of COVID. And I recorded the same content at our church, and it was not a very good recording. The actual material I covered went well, but the actual recording was not very good. So I'm hoping to make it kind of a better recording for you and easier for you to see and understand. And then I tried it earlier today and I went through the whole thing and didn't even press record. So this is the second attempt today. So hopefully I won't be confused on what I already said. And so this is how to make a minor scale. We've spent most of the year so far on learning our major scales and becoming very comfortable and confident with that. There's a very good reason I do it that way, because the major scales and the minor scales are related. And if you have a very firm grasp on how to construct a major scale and key signatures and how those work, then it's very easy to learn your minor scales. And so I really try to make sure you are very comfortable with that. If you feel like you are not comfortable with major scales, it would probably be good for you to review the videos and the content I gave you earlier this year on major scales. We're going to do a very quick review today in this lesson. But if you really don't know how to make a major scale, then you're not going to understand what I'm talking about half the time. So do that first. If you feel like you don't understand what's going on. All right, so you like my artwork? Yay! So over here, I guess this way, is my mountains and trees and my bears. I love bears. And then on this side, these are paintings that my grandmother painted. So I'm slowly but surely getting my office space the way I like it. And you can tell me if you like it or not. I don't really care. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And we're going to talk about major scales first. So how do you make a major scale? What is the formula that I told you earlier this year? We have a whole step, half step, and then a whole step, another whole step, another whole step, end with a half step. That's how you make a major scale. Okay. This should definitely be review. So if you are lost already, you need to go review major scales. So let's start on F and construct an F major scale. Here we go. F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. Between F and G is a whole step. Between G and A is a whole step. Between A and B flat is a half step. Between B flat and C is a whole step. C and D is a whole step. D and E is a whole step. E and F is a whole step. It's a half step. So we've used the formula correctly. We have used every letter in order. And so we're done. Okay, that's an F major scale. What is the key signature of that F major scale? If we were going to write it, it would be one flat. And that flat is B flat. So one flat is the key signature of F major. So if we're talking about things that are related, that means that they have something in common. Otherwise, there's no relationship there, right? So in our family, when the people that live with me or that grew up in my household go all together, we have myself, Lisa, we have my husband, Jason, we have our two kids, Erica and James. And the thing that we all share, other than a lifetime of growing up together, is our last name, Laulainen. That last name binds us together and creates a family unit. And we share that last name. We all have different first names and lots of other differences, but our last name is the same. And it gives us kind of a relationship together. And so other people, they say, oh, you're a Laulainen, you must be related to Lisa and Jason when they meet our kids. And that is truth. Okay. So if with scales, the thing that makes them related, like a last name in your family or mine, is the key signature. And the key signature is what makes them relatives of each other. And so going back to the whiteboard, let's see if I can share it again for you. If we take this key signature of B flat, and before we do that, I'm going to do one other little thing here. Let's take this scale, the F scale that we did, and number them all. So F would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1 again. So the 6th would be this D here. That D is this 6th scale degree. So if we take that scale degree and our key signature that causes things to be related, and we simply write a new scale starting on D and using that key signature, we get D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, and D. This is a D natural, natural minor scale. The key signature is 1 flat, B flat. Okay, this is called the natural minor because it naturally follows the key signature. There's nothing fancy about it. There's no, weirdness going on. It's just exactly what the key signature says. Okay, so we have D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D. D natural minor is a relative of F major because they share the same key signature. That's what we've learned so far. Minors do not only have one form, however. There are 3, and actually more than 3, but 3 ones that we can't spell natural, apparently. That's funny. Let me fix that. Natural, forget it. You'll figure it out, right? They're supposed to say natural up here. Well, there's 3 forms of this that we do in our class anyway. Sorry about that little escapade. If we take this same scale starting on D and we go to raise the 7th scale, so the C, if we raise it by 1/2 step, we get D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C sharp, that's the raised 7th, and D. This scale is D harmonic. Let me see if I make sure I spell that one right. Harmonic minor scale. Key signature is still 1 flat. We do not change the key signature. All we did was raise, raise the 7th, 1/2 step. Okay. So far, so good. Nobody's super confused except for on how to spell natural, right? Don't get spelling tips from me. There's one more that you need to know, and this is a little bit confusing, only that it's one way if you're going up or ascending, and another way if you're going down, descending. Okay, so I'm going to give myself lots of room to write this. We're still going to start on D because that's what we're working with. This time we're going to raise the 6th and the 7th scale degree. So we have D, E, F, G, A, B, natural, and there's no way to write a natural sign on this, so I'm just going to write N. That stands for natural. C sharp, and D. That's on the way up. On the way down, we lower the 6th and the 7th back down to their natural position. So we have C, again, the N is natural, B flat, A, G, F, E, and then D. This version is the D melodic minor scale. It raises the 6th and 7th on the way up. I hope that you notice that on the way down, this scale is exactly the same as the natural minor. So this part right here, whoops, is just the same as this. You see that? We have D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D, D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, and then D. C, N, of course, is C natural. And the reason I put that is so that you don't get confused by this C sharp over here. Okay, this is the natural, or the harmonic, the melodic minor scale. Now that you're very confused. All right, I better say that all again. We start with a major scale. In this case, we started with F major. We built the scale according to this formula we already learned. Okay, we looked at the 6th scale degree, which is D, and we looked at the key signature, which is 1 flat, B flat. Starting on the 6th scale degree, D, and applying this B flat, 1 flat key signature gives us the D natural, supposed to be natural harmonic scale, and that is D, E, F, G, A, B flat, C, D. They are relatives because they share the same key signature, much like your family shares a last name. Okay. There are 2 other forms that you need to be concerned with, and that is the harmonic and the melodic minor. Both of those start with this natural minor scale, but then they change it in some way. The harmonic minor scale changes the 7th scale degree and raises it a half step. So that gives us all the same notes, except for now we have the C sharp. And if you're confused on how we can allow flats and sharps to be in the same key signature, that's just how minor scales work. You're right in assuming that we don't have that in major scales, but it's okay because we're changing things and that's how we do it. That's why those accidentals exist, is so that you can change the pitch within a key. So don't be concerned about this flat and sharp business. In fact, if you are scanning a piece of music that you don't know yet, and you're wondering whether it's in the minor or major key, and you see a lot of accidentals, that is a very good sign that it is in a minor key because of all of this changing around. Okay, so back to our little review. The last one that you need to be concerned with for now is D melodic minor. This one is a little more complicated, but not really. We raise both the 6th and the 7th scale degree only on the way up. And then on the way back down, it is exactly the same as the natural minor. So we have D, E, F, G, A, B natural, C sharp, and D on the way up, and C natural, B flat, A, G, F, E, D on the way down. Okay. is, as you would expect, a very different sound on all of these. And I'm going to try it on flute because other people in my family are doing other things and it's pretty quiet. So bear with my flute playing here. Here's F major, and I'm hoping that you will recognize the major sound even on my flute. And if you take that same key signature, start on the 6th scale degree, which is D, you get this sound. This is natural minor. Okay. If you raise the 7th scale degree, you get my favorite form of minor, which is harmonic minor. Right? I call that one the snake charmer one because when I was growing up, there was cartoons that for some reason often had a snake charmer with trying to play something to get the snakes to come out of the basket, and that's the sound that they use to do that. It's used in lots of different kinds of music, but in my brain, it's associated with the snake charmer, so that's what I call it, that one. And here's the melodic minor. On the way up, the 6th and the 7th one are raised, and on the way down, it sounds exactly the same as natural minor because it is. See if I can remember all that. Whoops, try again. Not a great rendition, but hopefully you'll get the idea that on the way up and the way down, it is different on the melodic minor. All right, now it's time to practice doing all that. So if you want to get your whatever device ready, you can take a screenshot of this whiteboard or copy down whatever information on good old-fashioned paper that you want to keep, and then I'm going to erase all of this so we have more room. So here's your warning to take a screenshot if you feel like you need this information. Please spell natural right, not like how I did it. Okay, 3, 2, 1, they're all gone. All right. So we're going to practice in a new key. I'm going to do the same steps, hopefully a little bit quicker. We're going to make a C major scale. Hopefully this is so easy you can do it in your sleep. Here's C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. C major. The key signature is 0 flats and 0 sharps. I'm really praying that all of that was review. C is the one everybody likes, right? Because there's nothing in the key signature. So that brings us to figuring out what we're going to be dealing with in the way of a relative to this in the minor realm. So we need to find the 6. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6 is A. And we're going to be using this key signature. So here we go. Start on A, use that key signature, and make a relative natural minor. Go ahead and do it right now. Like I'm going to give you the answer in a minute, but I want you to try to figure it out first. Okay. So we start on A. And we're going to use every letter, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. This is A natural, this time I spelled it right, minor. And it shares the same key signature, so we're good. All the letters are used. We're done. That's the natural minor of A. Hopefully you were able to come up with that as well. If you are confused on how we did that, think about it again. It's not really that hard, especially in the key of C, where we're not having a lot of sharps and flats to deal with. We start out with our major scale, get to the 6th scale degree, apply the key signature, and boom, we're done. That's all we have. Okay. Next, we're going to make the harmonic minor. So how do you do that? Start with a natural minor and you raise the 7th scale degree 1/2 step. So go ahead and write that one down. See if you get what I get. All you have to do is change the 7th scale degree. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, sharp, that's the 7th that we're raising 1/2 step, and A. That is a harmonic minor. How do we do that? We raise the 7th 1/2 step. Okay, and the last one is melodic minor, and the reason why this one is a little bit more complex is because it is one form on the way up and a different form on the way down, just in case you got bored with it just doing the same thing, right? And how do we get that? On the way up, you have to raise both the 6th and the 7th scale degree 1/2 step. On the way back down, it is simply the natural minor. So you flat both of them, or you lower them by a 1/2 step both times. Take a second and write down that for me or for yourself. We're going to start on A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, A. That's the first half. On the way back down, we're going to have a G natural. Again, I can't write a natural sign. F natural, E, D, C, B, A. Okay. Super easy. There really isn't anything earth-shattering in this. People freak out about minor scales, but there's really no need to. If you understand major scales and their key signatures, you can easily create any of these scales on any pitch that you understand the majors on. Okay, this is not earth-shattering things or like something that you need a college degree or exceptional smarts to understand. But it is something that you need a little bit of practice so that you don't get confused on the 3 forms. There's a little bit of memorizing that needs to happen. You need to memorize that the natural minor is simply exactly following the key signature that we got from our major scales. The harmonic minor, the only change we make is to raise the 7th scale degree, and that one is the same whether we're going up or down. It stays the same. The melodic minor raises both the 6th and the 7th scale degree by a 1/2 step on the way up, and on the way down, it just reverts back to the natural minor scale. There are good reasons for why all three of these exist, and there are specific times where you would use one over the other. I'm not going to get into all of that today. Just trust me that there's a reason for this madness. It's not just to make your life more complicated. And for now, all you have to do is be able to create these scales and know the differences between them. Okay. Um, the only step left for you to be able to play them is to understand also how to transpose for your instrument. And that will be covered in a later date. Or you could probably just figure it out from what you know of transposition already for your instrument. But for this lesson, the only thing I'm really concerned about is that you can construct those scales from a major scale. Okay. So here's a little pop quiz for you. I'm going to play one of the three minor scales, and you're going to tell me whether you hear harmonic, natural, or melodic scale. Okay, hopefully I'll do it right so you'll know. One more time. Which one is it? I think I can hear you. I think you said harmonic, and I hope that you did, because that one is pretty recognizable because of that 6th, 7th scale degree being so wonky. You can really hear that it's definitely not major. And there is no half step between the 7th and the 8th, and that in our Western music tells us that we're done and it's a major scale. So because of that, it's pretty recognizable, I hope, for you. If you didn't get it and you guessed something else, don't be too hard on yourself, and you just need to listen more and be more familiar with these, and then it'll be easy for you also to listen to and guess which one, or no, you won't have to guess, right? So if you are super confused by this, I am heartily sorry, and we'll be happy to meet with you either on Zoom or any other way to help you get unconfused. If you do not know your major scales yet, this will be a little bit harder than it needs to be for you. So get that shored up first and then come back to this lesson, and it should be easier. If you have done all that and you're still lost or just need help on something, shoot me an email, give me a phone call, or contact me through Facebook Messenger. Any of those things will get my attention and let me know that you need some explanation that's not in this video, and I'd be happy to do that for you. If you can, you can talk to me at band also, obviously, but it's often hard for me to just stop what I'm doing and give you a lesson specifically on this question. So that's why I'm suggesting the other things first. If you talk to me at band, then we can set up some other time also. Until then, make sure that you read the email for what your theory assignment is going to be for this week. And I look forward to seeing and hearing you on Thursday or whenever we next get to meet together. Hope you have a great week. See you later.